Welcome to the Cash Flow Company. Today we're going to talk about our main core here, which is leverage. Why you need it, why it's the most important thing we believe in real estate investing. Because without leverage, you're not buying, you're not holding, you're not really profiting on real estate. Albert Einstein once said, compound interest is the 12th wonder of the world. We look at leverage as the wonder for real estate investing. We're going to go over a simple transaction so you can see exactly how leverage works and why it's so important. We're going to go step by step just so you could get a glimpse on how leverage is so important. In this video, we're going to show you how the $100,000 investment can 5x. So instead of having a net worth of $250,000, that same $100,000 is going to get you a net worth of $1.25 million. So let's start by looking at someone who has $100,000. We know everyone doesn't have $100,000, but this is the best way to look at leverage. So in this example here, someone has $100,000. They plan on buying one rental property. As we see here, with $100,000, they're going to buy one rental property, and they're going to expect rent for $1,200. So this is just an example. We're using numbers here that are what we believe are believable, but any market they could change. So with this $100,000, someone could buy one property. Their income is $1,200 a month, which means on an annual basis, they're bringing in $14,400. So let's look what leverage does to this same $100,000. Here is what we see if someone used other people's money. So what we have here is someone goes out to a bank, a lender, someone that says, hey, if I put up $25,000, will you lend me the other $75,000 to buy rental properties? So they find a lender who's agreeable and they say, okay, we're going to lend you $75,000. You put up $25,000 per transaction. What that looks like now is they could buy 4 properties because they're going to take $25,000 per property out of their 100, so they're going to buy 4 properties. Now the rent goes down per property because now they have debt. They have leverage on that property. So instead of making $1,200 a month, they're making $750 a month. But you times that by 4. So now you have a monthly income of $3,000 compared to the $1,200 you were making on one property. So on a yearly basis, you're bringing in $36,000 over $14,400. When we break those numbers down, what we see now is with leverage, they're able to bring in another $21,600 on top of the $14,400 they had with just buying one rental. So they get another $21,600 or $36,000 a year. So there is one point what leverage helps you with. It brings in more income. According to a study that was done over the last 30 years, ending in the middle of 2022, what we see is that not only do rental properties and properties bring in income, but they also increase in value. So over the last 30 years, on average, homes have increased more than 5%. So let's take that 5%, add it to our equation and see what leverage does on the other side. We've created income. Now, how does it help us create wealth? With one property, we see based on those numbers of 5% growth per year, but our net worth increases $5,000. So in simple math here, we're going to take that 5% and just make sure it's even, that it's not growth on top of growth, just to make this easier. So with one property, $5,000 over 1 year, 5 times 5 over 5 years, you get to $25,000. And as you see over 30 years, you add $150,000 worth of value to that property. So you bought it for 100, you've added 150, so that property is now net worth to you of $250,000. But let's look at what happened with those 4 homes. Since you bought 4 by using leverage, now every year those 4 homes each increase the $5,000, so that's a total of $20,000 increase. Over 5 years, that's $100,000 that goes up. And over 30 years, you've added $600,000 to your net worth. So that's $600,000 in extra net worth. You add the price of the homes. So you had 4 homes at $100,000 plus the $600. Now you have $1 million. You compare that $1 million to the $250 that you bought one house for. You've just increased your net worth $750,000. So on one hand, we've increased our income. On the other hand, we've increased our net worth. This is the power of leverage in real estate. in nice, simple form. Now, what happens if we actually maximize this leverage? We actually go that extra step. We get a little bit extra because our credit is good, our income is good. We've done everything right to make sure we're working on what we should with leverage, which is to make sure you have the best, cheapest, easiest leverage that's out there. So what happens if we take the same scenario, but we maximize it? We supersize by adding that you are one of the top tier, and you're working on that because you are in real estate investing, and this is that important to you. So let's look at what happens when we maximize our leverage and what leverage could do even farther than just plain old leverage. Now here we've gone to a bank, and the bank says, you have great credit, you have great history, we really want to work with you. We're going to actually lend you 80% or $80,000 on every $100,000 home you buy. So now that $100,000, since you only have to put in $20,000, the bank, the leverage, the lender is going to give you the other 80. So now you could afford 5 properties. So the 5 times 20 is the $100,000 you have to invest. But your rents, of course, go down again because you are now having a little bit more leverage. So now your net rents are only $700. So you went from $1,200 when you owned a free and clear to $750 to $700. So your net rents are going down. But once again, you have more properties. So your overall monthly rent increases to $3,500. On an annual basis, that's $42,000 coming in from that $100,000 investment. This is where leverage really kicks in and starts playing as you grow and grow. So now you've added $27,600 in extra income from that same $100,000 compared to just buying one property yourself and owning it free and clear. But remember, there's 2 sides to this. There's the income side and then there's the wealth side. So let's look at what happened on the wealth side. Now we have 5 properties instead of 1 or 4. Now we have 5 times 5,000, so we have 25,000 increase in net worth every year on average. That means over 5 years you have 125,000 compared to 25 or 100,000. Over 30 years you have added $750,000 in extra value to these properties, which brings in to you that net worth. That's $600,000 more than if you had the one property. But you just look at those numbers and you take it out one step farther. So in 30 years on 5 properties, you had $750,000 in extra net worth. But those 5 properties still valued at $100,000. This is just the growth. So that's another $500,000 on the purchase. So you have $500,000 plus $750,000. That's the 1.25 we were talking to you about at the beginning. So now you're going to see that 5 properties, the use of leverage brought you up to a net worth of $1.25 million compared to the one property that you had the $150,000 in growth and you have the $100,000 that you originally put into the property. So it's $250,000. So we're comparing $250,000 against $1.25. What does that show you right there for net worth? You have increased your net worth $1 million because of leverage. Now there's one other trick, but before we get to that, if you could, please like this video. It helps us, helps other people see the power of leverage. The last thing is in 30 years, you have that extra $1 million, but you also own these properties free and clear. So now that $1,200 a month that you're getting in, you are getting that free and clear on both. So now on one property, yes, you're still getting $1,200. Let's pretend nothing changed as far as rental increases. But on the 5 properties, now you're getting 5 times that $1,200 or $6,000 a month. So $1,200 compared to $6,000 a month, you can see the power of leverage. You've created a bigger and better income stream along with net worth because you don't own anything on these properties now. Our whole goal here is to help you understand the power of leverage. We believe leverage is at least half of what makes real estate investing successful. We scour the markets looking for the best debt, the lowest down payments, the lowest credit score, just the best terms. So if you're looking to maximize your leverage, please reach out to us. We have an email below. We'd be glad to answer any questions, help you with any deal, or be able to lead you in the right direction. Even if we can't help you, we want to make sure you're in the best leverage that you could get.